All right, good morning and welcome once again to your show. This is Crossfire on Wazobia Max. And as a matter of fact, it is really very interesting to let everyone know that we're back and we're back better. Just in a very, on a very serious business note, I would like to say that the organization is ensuring that you watch us. You just need to watch us. We are the best thing happening in town. Wazobia Max is the best thing happening in Nigeria. You need information about sport. You need information about politics. You need information, entertainment stories, whatever is your flair. As a TV watcher, let me put it that way, or as a TV lover, Wazobia TV is just the in thing. We're on channel 98 on Go TV, and we're on channel 57 on our terrestrial platform, and that is channel 57. And so you can catch up with us on all our shows, like you're live right now with us on Crossfire. And my name is Dapo Banjo. And as a matter of fact, we've been doing we embarked on a recent campaign to make sure that we're in every home in Nigeria, but particularly in Lagos State for now. And today you'll be witnessing in some areas of Lagos State, we're going to be present there on a roadshow campaign to ensure that Wazobia Max is actually turned out to be every family's flair when it comes to first TV station to watch. So as a matter of fact, we need to let you know that all the people around Satellite Town, Agboju, Okota, Amuwo, Festac and its environ, you will be seeing a very, very big, entourage from our office, from our organization. They are coming out there to let you know that the biggest thing in town is Wazobia Max, and you need to be a part of it. And you know what? You don't need any monthly subscription to watch us. We are free to air, and so you can just tune in into channel 57 on your television. You don't need any decoder to watch us on Wazobia Max. And as a matter of fact, all you need to do is to ensure you have an external antenna and tune your TV to channel 57. You can do an auto search or a manual search, but ensure you get channel 57, and believe you me, you'll be very surprised at the kind of package and the kind of programming that our organization is offering. So welcome once again. It's Crossfire. My name is Dapo Banjo once again, and I have Ishoma Gaine with me in the studio. Ishoma, good morning. Good morning,
beautiful people of Lagos, Nigeria. And like Dapo said, also you may also be lucky to see us on the road show today. So all right. If you have your favorite anchors, if you have your favorite presenters, look out also for them. This is Wazobia.
All right then. Satellite Town, Agboju, Okota, Amuwo, Festa. Get ready for us. We'll be there yet in a little while, and you'll be seeing us live. And we have a lot of beautiful and interesting thing that we have packaged as part of the campaign. A lot of people will be winning beautiful things, okay? So when we come back from this short break, we will be unveiling the package for today. It's still Crossfire on Wazobia Max channel 57. Let's go now. We'll be right back after this. All right, welcome back, and it's still Crossfire with Dapo and Ishoma. Like I told you before we went on that break, we have a fantastic package for you. We have stories that are making headlines, and we have interesting stories that you need update on. So many things has happened before now, and so on Crossfire today, we will try as much as possible to bring you updates on trending stories and issues that are actually going on in Nigeria. Now, we have two fantastic gentlemen who are joining us in the show today, and we definitely will be running show with them. First on the list is a gentleman that I've seen a couple of times. His analysis are on point, and he tries as much as possible to, just do his thing. Let's meet ZEAL, AKARAIWE.
Hi.
Did I get that?
Yes, you did. Perfect.
Good
morning.
Okay,
Good
but
morning,
I have to just slow down and be very careful not to mother it, and all of that. Now, ZEAL is a social commentator, and we have him on the show today. Now, we have another gentleman. He's a regular. He's become like a part of the crew for Crossfire, and we love his analysis, and that's why we bring him all the time to let us just speak the truth about what is going on in Nigeria. Let's meet AVANN. AVANN, good to have you again.
Welcome back.
on Crossfire.
Welcome back.
All right, fantastic. Now let us quickly bring you, headlines on some, local stories, as it were. Congratulations to Nigerians, and I'm congratulating myself. I don't know about Ishoma. I've been, well over 4 decades. I've been living in Lagos State, particularly, and as a matter of fact, I mean, something really very new and big is what we witnessed yesterday as Governor Akinwumi Ambode signed an MOU worth almost 1 trillion naira, about 884 billion naira, to embark on a new project called the 4th Mainland Bridge. So for the people of Ikorodu, Aja, all the way to Ikeja and Bega area and all of that, believe you me, in 3 years' time is going to be a lot of succor for those of us who patronize the Nigerian road, especially to get to places of our businesses. So yesterday, the Lagos State government is particularly, embarking on that project, and we will definitely be talking about that, and then we'll bring you update on that. Now, secondly, is to let you know that there was a botched, an abortion on a presidential most hyped, one of the most hyped, presidential visit. When he went to France, it wasn't that hyped. When he was in the UK, in the US, and when he was in India, it wasn't that hyped. But the one visit that they planned to Lagos State eventually was cancelled, as, the media advisor to the president, advised and said, okay, due to tight schedule, that the president would not be able to visit Lagos again. But we had the vice president, Yemi Osinbajo, who actually represented him, and I think the business was done or not.
Yeah, and he went successfully.
He went successfully.
Yeah.
All right. Now, that's really very interesting, too. Now, we have more stories to bring your way. EFCC eventually uncovers, one of the biggest fraud perpetrated by the last administration, and that's to the tune of $151 million. And this money has been traced, and we will talk about it and see how much of updates we can provide you on that, as the managing director of Fidelity Bank was picked up again. He was picked up, released, and now he's been picked up again because this particular money, purportedly stolen or, siphoned or whatever it is, by the former, general managing director of the NNPC, Madam Denziani Alison Madueke. Now, we definitely will be talking, about that too. Now, let's quickly, bring you update too on the visit of the president of the Senate. Yesterday was at the CCT, and a couple of activities, really happened, and we will bring you stories about that. But before we go on, I need to quickly allow Ishoma to tell us exactly, this is like a breaking news.
Yeah.
Way back in July 2000, I think particularly July 16, Thursday, July 16, 2015, 6 director generals of government agencies were sacked, and we have a fresh appointment. I'll pass that story to Ishoma.
So yesterday, the federal government of Nigeria announced through the Minister for Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, on the appointment of 6 chief executives for the various parastatals under the Ministry for Information. Now, the new chief executives are Mr. Ishak Modibo Kawu, the Director General of the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission, NBC. We also have Mr. Mansour Liman, Director General of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. We also have Mr. Yakubu Mohammed, the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA. We also have Mr. Bayo Onanuga, Managing Director, News Agency of Nigeria, NAN, and also Mr. Osita Okechukwu, Director General of the Voice of Nigeria. And as we were also told yesterday, that these appointments were to take effect immediately.
As a matter of fact, Ishoma, I don't know if it's deliberate or not. Dr. Gaba Abari was appointed yesterday as the Director General of the National Orientation Agency. I know it's an agency that Ishoma is really very particular, and very, yes, exactly. I'm very passionate about national orientation too, because I feel that Nigerians need, a reorientation. Maybe the new generation coming behind us need orientation, but we need reorientation. And it's really very terrible. All right, gentlemen, let's start the business of the day. Now, we just announced, the newly elected director generals, for government agencies and all of that. Why do you think it took this long? I'm very sure, AVANN is really...
I mean, few days to the celebration.
To the celebration.
1 year in office of President Muhammadu Buhari.
Appointment is a good thing. No office exists in vacuum. But to me, it almost took a long time before this appointment came. You know, if we have to look at the appointment critically, you know, Nigerians, the first analysis we give to any government action is that national spread. Does it have a national spread? Six appointments made. And I believe 4 of these names are from the north and 2 from the southwest. What happened to the southeast? What happened to the south-south, where I'm from? You know, these are 6 appointments that are supposed to be from 6.
Okay, we have Mr. Osita Okechukwu, which we can say represent the southeast.
Maybe from the southeast.
Yeah.
Maybe that one could be from the southeast, but that national spread ordinarily is.
I don't see it present in these names anyway. I don't see that present.
So should we prioritize the issue of national spread, or we should prioritize the issue of competency?
Competence in office.
That's which has always been the issue over time. If you look at our history, national spread or competency, which do you think should be priority?
Competence should take priority over national spread, but you cannot tell me there are not competent people all over the 6 geopolitical zones.
Nigeria is a very well-educated country.
There are competent people everywhere in Nigeria. You understand? Because if you juxtapose it with all other past appointments that this government have made, you will come to realize that yes, this man take a long time and keep people guessing where his action will go to, and at the end of the day, some of us were disappointed. And me, I'm not always disappointed by his appointment because I always know that he's taking time to actually select those people he personally think that
will be able to do it. Now, as a matter of fact, gentlemen, I seem to have a conspiracy theory. In recent past, we've had misinformation or no information at all, or half information, as it were, especially from the FEC, disjointed information. Yeah. The president will come out to say something, the vice president will say, no, the vice president will say something, and then the president will come back and say, no, it's not like that. And then Ibe Kwachuku will come out to say something, and then the president comes back, you know, from behind to counter whatever he has said. Do you think, I mean, some of the things that could be responsible is that the Ministry of Information actually, didn't have, you know, heads, like in the DGs across, NTA was affected, NBC was affected, FRCN was affected, National Orientation Agency was affected, NAN was affected, and Voice of Nigeria was affected. These are information elements in Nigeria that are not present. So we left everything. And don't forget, so many information that even the Minister of Information, said, and then the president came back to say, no, it's not like that. So do you think, you know, because these offices were actually left not manned by permanent people, because the agencies were running quite all right, you know, exactly. So I wouldn't know is it competent or permanent people that didn't make the agency really do their work. What do you think?
I think it has nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing. Okay. These agencies are agencies for disseminating information. Good. So they would say what they are told to say or analyze what they see. But what we're talking about is where the people doing the saying and the doing are acting contrary to each other. So that's a totally different scenario. So for example, what I know for certain is from the actions of this government in the last couple of months, the government isn't acting as a single entity. Okay. Every minister seems to be running his own or her own government. So for example, the Minister for Finance says that we're going to spend our way out of this problem. Okay? But the central bank is not acting or bringing out policies to show that we're going to increase spending and therefore bringing out policy statements to ensure that the economy stays tight. The central bank is not doing that. On the other hand, you have the Minister for Petroleum, Minister of State for Petroleum, saying, look, we're going to use an exchange rate of 285 as an assumption. And you come out with the central bank not, so everybody seems to be doing their own thing. It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
So what does that speak about the Buhari-led administration?
Yeah, I disagree when you say everybody seems to do their own thing. They are not actually doing their own thing. The real story is that they are not left alone to do their thing. For instance, when the Minister of State for Petroleum will say they are using a particular exchange rate, the CBN will wait for directives from the president himself to act. Okay. It's like every head of every parastatal, they don't have that
like a mind of their own. They don't have the
independent operating capacity, no matter the competence they have. You understand me? They are not independent of the president. The president seems to have everything on his table.
But if that was the case,
certain policy, nobody have the power to implement.
Alvan, if that was
remember when he went to Ethiopia, he was asked a question about the devaluation of naira and all that, and he said, quoting him like this, he said, "What central bank? I am in charge of the naira." You see, a president saying he's in charge of the naira, and this is the constitutionally empowered central bank. So the president saying he's in charge of the naira. They're now making the central bank governor irrelevant. You understand?
But I say, really and truly, do you think Emefiele has been very relevant to this administration in terms of the position, the strategic position,
financial policies,
exactly, that he sits as the governor of the central bank?
He is not allowed to be relevant. That is the story.
Oh.
Yes,
I see.
Because when the president says he's in charge of the naira, what does the central bank governor?
All right, I don't want to go there, but I want us to actually concentrate on information dissemination and general information management in Buhari administration. This administration is going to be 1 year in a few days' time. Now, I mean, today is the 26th. In 3 days' time, we obviously will be marking the first year of President Muhammadu Buhari as the president of Nigeria. And as a matter of fact, let's just look at, we can talk about everything on one show, but I just want us to concentrate on information management. Do you think information has been properly managed in terms of dissemination, in terms of availability of it, and if it's available at all, is it properly, passed?
The only area where information is readily and speedily available, sadly, in my opinion, is the only area where it should not be. And that's what the EFCC is doing by arresting people and their investigation.
And they're arresting people and prosecuting on the pages of the newspaper.
Yes, you pick up the pages of the newspaper and you see EFCC's tactics. Yes. Oh, we did this, we checked his phone record. And like, there is no intelligence in doing that, because all you're doing is you're letting
the other people know what your tactics will do.
Is that move good for our democracy?
And they'll go and create alibis. I mean, you'll just never be able to catch up with them in the long run.
That's the only area where there's abundant information. But regarding a lot of other things, regarding things that touch the everyday person.
Can you remember any one policy that this government have made and they spelt it out, and you are aware that this policy
the only two areas where they have spelt out intention, let's ignore the timing, whether it came at a relevant time or not, was when Kachiku came out and he had this, I think, a 10-minute video explaining the fuel scarcity and all that. I think he did well. I felt it was a bit late, but at least he did well in spelling out, this is what the issues are, this is what we'll try and do. At least there was a communication. Fashola on power has also attempted something similar. But regarding a lot of other things, to be honest, I mean, with all the media aids the president had, I assume that, you see, information, what I expected, and people tell me I expect too much, what I expected from this government was, look, over the next 4 years while we're in power, these are the things we're going to achieve in 4 years.
Like an agenda.
Yes, and the milestones are in 6 months this, in 1 year this. You know, there'll be milestones, and then periodically the Minister for Information will say, look, on housing, on power, on education, on these critical sectors, on healthcare, this is where we are, this is what we're doing, you know? And then people know, but as it is, to find information on what's going on, even the minister, when he was trying to borrow money from a parastatal under him, and he was confronted and he said that he did owe it to the public to explain. And I found that was irresponsible.
All right, what's your position on that?
Talking about information, my brother, information, and by this definition, is communication. You understand?
True.
From the leadership to us, especially. You see, from day one, when I found out that Lai Mohammed was appointed as the Minister of Information, I shook my head. I said, because a serious government needs a communicator and not a propagandist as a Minister for Information. So when you win an election through propaganda, and you want to continue ruling the people through propaganda, very, very soon,
people will catch up with your lies.
So the number of lies, you know, when you lie, when you spew one lie, you need another one to cover the first one. Another one, so before you know it, you cannot have memory of all the lies you lied. So you need a perfect communicator that knows how to gauge the pulse of the people, that know when to give particular information. You not to keep lying. Because as far as I'm concerned,
are you saying
when the minister of information,
when you say the minister for information is lying, don't you think that statement is ambiguous? Because we know in information management, certain informations should be preserved, not because you cannot tell the people, but it's all about managing expectation, which we've always talked about on Crossfire. Certain informations need to be protected, need to be curtailed, and probably over time, giving out in bits, not
okay,
pushing it out.
Okay, I have a problem. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. Let me tell you. Now, I've come to find out that Nigerians in diaspora have more information about this government than us that are at home.
Why?
Now, every time the president travels, I'm explaining. Every time the president travels, he makes as much information about everything available to them in diaspora. He doesn't talk to us here. Does your president talk to you? He doesn't talk to us here.
Are the journalists here asking the right questions?
Are they allowed to even ask the questions?
Of course they are allowed. But then I take a look at the paper. All I see is propaganda from various agencies of the media because they want to sell.
Journalists have been left to guess
they want to sell.
No,
but the truth is,
because journalists have been.
We have what we call investigative journalism.
So the one we're doing right now is assumptive journalism. We just assume this is the body language of the president.
It doesn't owe anybody explanation on how government money is being spent.
Then journalists should have tried further. Don't you think journalists should have
let's differentiate between negative information
lying to
or
lying
to
the minister and
the president once told us
that
they are actually getting money back.
I disagree with you.
That they are bringing money back from looters. At a point in time, we have another information that yes, they have an idea of where the monies are, but the monies have not been collected. You know, so now he's strategizing on how the monies will be collected. And if really and truly, the EFCC, that has been an investigative agency, have carried out proper investigation and they have been able to track down where our looted funds are. Now, they've been telling them, how much have you collected? Where is the money? Are you sitting on them? Are you banking them? Where did you keep them? Have you paid them into the government, account and all of that? Now, when you have a government that is not cohesive, especially when it comes to being able to come up with a national agenda and everybody is holding one book. You see, because we can only be on the same page when we are reading the same book. I can tell you open to page 77 and what I'm reading is what you are reading. But if you have things fall apart and I'm holding the gods are not to blame, we can never be on the same page. And that's the story here. Because, I mean, the president is not aligning with what the vice president is saying. The Minister of State for Petroleum is saying something totally different from what the president is saying. So we have a problem with information in this government.
It's more than an issue with the information. If the actions themselves are mixed signals, then the information will never be consistent. Okay. So before we drop down to the level of the information that is being sent out to the people is conflicting, because the actions are conflicting. So let's leave, I don't want to go down to the level of information without dealing with the actual actions. And when Buhari was coming into power, I mean, for very many reasons, a lot of us said, a 73-ish-year-old man who rose through the military ranks to become head of state. He rose through the ranks. He's been head of state. He's been Minister for Petroleum. He's 73 years old. You cannot teach an old dog new tricks. He has his ways set. At 73, you would be insane to expect certain character changes from a 73-year-old man. So we all knew he was going to come in.
Robert Mugabe is 92 and is the president of a country.
No, hang on. Look, Robert Mugabe, since we're digressing, when he became president, 30-something years ago, he took Zimbabwe and Zimbabwe was the best country in Africa. The same Mugabe after he went cuckoo, as far as I'm concerned, has now made the same president, the same country, the world. Exactly. So at some point, there is a point in time where your reaction time changes. There's a point in time where your mental ability changes. There's a point in time where your risk ability changes. There's a point in time where your ability to trust and empower people changes. And those things form part of your character. Buhari is taking over a government that is evidently, from what we're seeing in retrospect, corrupt, horrible. There was a lot of, not even looting, there was a lot of abuse in the system.
Exactly.
And so he's coming in now, and as a 73-year-old man who's old, who's about to more on his way out than his way in, and is looking to leave a legacy, he's going to be extraordinarily careful about certain actions. In my opinion, too careful. And you know, when you're too careful, it's almost as reckless as being too reckless.
Exactly.
And so he took 1 year to agree on removal of fuel subsidy, for example, that somebody who was, in my opinion, mentally active and sharper would have looked at the situation and done it in 2 weeks max. Look at the ministers he appointed. It took him 7 months to appoint the very same ministers that before May 29 we assumed he would appoint. So it took him 7 months to come to exactly the same conclusion that everybody knew you would come to. We assumed you would come to in 2 days.
All right.
So he's
an issue of budget.
That's true.
And that is the issue. So he's taking a lot of time. So he's allowing a lot of speculation, a lot of front-running of information. And he said, we know you will do this, so why not just do it already?
All right. Okay, we're preparing to go on a short break now, and when we come back, we'll bring you more stories. How SARAKI fared at the CCT yesterday. We'll be touching down on that story when we come back from this short break. Let's go now. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love her.